100 jillion years ago, the world was a big ocean.
When suddenly, these two titans the size of small countries emerged from the water.
You got this big white planty one called the Bionis.
And this mean black metal one called the Makna.
And they're like, grrr. And soon they got tired of just growling at each other, so they each pulled out swords the size of cities and went to town.
And soon they got tired of wailing on each other, so they were like, yo, truce? And they both fell for it and let their guards down, and each landed a fatal blow on each other.
Fast forward almost to the present, and the races who lived on the corpses of the Titans are at war.
And it's all going down on the Metal One's sword.
You've got the ones from the Mechonis called the Mechon.
And the ones from the Bionis called the Bion.
The Homs.
Psst, Bion sounds cooler.
So the Homs are completely outmatched. It takes 5 of them in a tank to take down like half a Mechon, so things aren't going too hot.
But now enter Dunban, and he's all like, ah. And he's got this sick lightsaber that tears through Mechon like paper.
That sword is called the Monado, and it's basically the Chosen One weapon, like Excalibur or the Master Sword. Anyone who is not the Chosen One can't wield it without suffering serious consequences.
Dunban is actually not the Chosen One. He's just such a badass that he can tank the adverse effects of wielding the Monado.
And he's got 2 friends, Dixon, who's all like, I'm getting old, but I'm still kind of awesome and stuff.
And Mumkar, who's all like, I'm definitely not evil, and I'm definitely not gonna betray these two any second now.
Together with the power of the Monado, they fight back against the entire Mechon army, while everyone else gets to safety.
But soon, taking the adverse effects of wielding the Chosen One weapon while not being the Chosen One proves too much for Dunban, and he collapses.
Oh no!
And Mumkar is like, sucks to suck, I'm betraying you two, bye, before immediately tripping and falling into a horde of Mechon.
And then an even bigger Mechon army appears, and Dixon is all like, well shit.
But then Dunban decides he can tank the Chosen One consequences just a little bit harder, and he's all vile.
Mechon, if you think—
Hey, you said I could say the line.
Fine.
Ahem. Vile Mechon. If you think the Homs, the people of the Bionis, are just waiting here for you to pick us off, then you're sorely mistaken.
And he goes, Rah! And team wipes the entire Mechon army and saves the day for Bionis. Woo!
Fast forward one more year and we're in the present, introduced to our main character, Shulk.
Shulk is a huge nerd who spends his days studying the Monado and tinkering with scrap metal to turn it into weapons and stuff.
He's rooting around in a junkyard when he gets spooked by a hermit crab.
But then his best friend Ryan comes in and he's all like, oh yeah, baby, Ryan time!
Suck on this!
What a bunch of jokers!
Can't have a rainbow without Ryan, baby. You out?
Yeah, that's all I got. So Ryan and Shulk massacre the entire local population of bunnies, caterpillars, and mosquitoes before heading back into town.
Welcome to Colony 9, a little town located on the Bionis' right ankle.
Hot tourist attractions include massive guns the size of the entire town, a pristine lake with level 70 fish and birds in it, and Dunban, the hero of the biome.
Homs! Turns out, tanking the consequences of wielding the Chosen One weapon while not being the Chosen One is pretty bad. And after the battle a year ago, Dunban can't use his right arm.
Sucks, but at least he's got his little sister Fiora here to take care of him.
Fiora leaves because she's got a crush on Shulk and she wants to literally go and feed him a sandwich.
Oh, damn.
So Fiora meets up with Shulk at a park and she's all, wow, it's so peaceful. I hope every day will be like this forever. So we know she's gonna get absolutely fucking minced by the end of the first act.
After they finish with their totally not a date, they head back to the lab where Shulk studies the Monado, and Ryan's in there all like, I wonder what would happen if I wielded the Chosen One weapon despite not being the Chosen One.
So that goes about as well as you'd expect, and the sword goes berserk and slices straight through Fiora.
Oh no!
Just kidding, the Monado cuts through machines with ease, but it's completely incapable of hurting people.
Oh, nice! So the trio head out on an errand for this Colonel guy. Don't worry about him, he's gonna die in a minute.
They finish the errand, and suddenly it's all like, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo.
Mechon are falling from the sky!
And eating people!
And that Colonel guy gets hit by a tank and then explodes!
Wow, that's kind of a badass death.
And everyone's like, okay shit, someone had better wield the Chosen One weapon despite not being the Chosen One.
And Dunban's like, I'll do it, because it went so well last time.
To be fair, it did go pretty well. He did just lose his arm though.
Well, it doesn't go too well this time. Dunban can't handle the pain and collapses before long.
And then Shulk is like, I'll do it, and grabs the Monado.
Turns out Shulk is the Chosen One because he can wield it just fine. Also, when he does, he gets these sweet visions that tell him when he's about to face tank an attack.
With the combination of the Monado and his visions, he starts taking out the Mechon, no problem.
Nice, we totally got this. Says no one in particular.
But then this big-ass Mechon with a face shows up. He's called Black
Metal Face, and Shulk is like, size doesn't matter. The Monado can take out Mechon no problem. Oh crap.
Turns out the Monado doesn't work on Metal Face, but we established that the only thing the Monado can't hurt is people. And now we have this big people-shaped Mechon with a people-style face, and it doesn't work on him. What could possibly be the reason for this conundrum?
No time to worry about that though, cause Shulk has a vision about Fiora dying.
Shit, he says. I knew I shouldn't have let her say all that stuff about how nice and peaceful everything is.
He tries to get Fiora to run, but she doesn't listen, and she gets absolutely fucking minced by the end of the first act.
No! Screams Shulk's voice actor, Adam Howden, when he sees how little he's getting paid to deliver such an amazing performance.
All the remaining Mechon retreat for mysterious reasons, leaving Colony 9 in shambles.
The next day, Shulk is like, I want to get revenge on Metal Face despite having no plan or means of even damaging him.
And Ryan is like, dude, same. Let's blow this popsicle stand.
So the two set off on adventure.
The two dick around in a cave with some spiders for a while, and Shulk sees a vision of Ryan dying.
Shit, he says. I knew I shouldn't have let him say all that stuff about how nice and peaceful everything is.
But Shulk isn't willing to lose both his best friends in the span of 24 hours, and figures out that the Monado has magic Deus Ex Machina powers that can basically do whatever he needs to do in order to save people's lives.
Nice! So now Shulk knows that between his visions and the untapped potential of the Monado, they can literally stop all the deaths.
Which makes it extra sucky that he couldn't stop Fiora's death. But oh well, at least we got a cool RPG out of the deal.
The pair make it out of the cave and onto the Bionis' right thigh, where they meet this really annoying kid named Juju, and Shulk has a vision of him dying.
Oh, no? I mean, I think we can just leave this kid to his fate, right?
Nope, Shulk is a good person and he's on a fate-defying power trip, so Juju lives another day.
On the bright side, he introduces us to his hot older sister, Sharla. She was an opposite gun that makes wounds go away when she shoots you.
She also explains that the Mechon attacked her town, Colony 6, at the same time Colony 9 was being attacked.
But Colony 6 didn't have a Chosen One weapon to fall back on, so they basically just got fucking mulched.
Sharla is responsible for getting the women, children, elderly, and also literally one guy in his prime out safely while the soldiers and men stalled the Mechon with their corpses.
She's kinda beat up about the whole thing. Understandably, she just doesn't want to lose anyone else, especially since her fiancé was one of the soldiers.
But Juju is inspired by Shulk and Ryan being low-key badasses and wants them to single-handedly kick the Mechon out of Colony 6.
Sharla says hell no, but Juju runs off towards the horde of killer machines the moment her back is turned.
So Shulk has another vision of him dying!
Seriously, we could just let this happen. This is just Darwinism at work here. By interfering, we may be doing more harm than good.
Nope, Shulk's still too good a person, and Ryan's got it in his head that he's got a shot with Sharla since her fiancé is almost certainly dead.
Can't argue with that, so away to rescue Juju they go.
They fight this spectacular tentacular, and Shulk gets another new power that lets him save Sharla's life.
They successfully rescue Juju, but it's not all bad. We get to see Sharla smack him. Hell yeah.
But oh no, another big-ass Mechon with a face shows up.
Shulk's like size doesn't matter. The Monado can cut through Mechon with ease. Son of a!
Yep, this Mechon also can't be hurt, just like Metal Face. And he's got a voice, and a name even. How very characteristic of people. You know, the one thing the Monado can't...
The mystery remains. This big guy's name is Zord, and if we can get real a second, every line he speaks is a joy to listen to.
It certainly is, but unfortunately he's not subject to flattery, and he kidnaps Juju, using him as incentive for the gang to follow him to Colony 6. So away we go to rescue Juju.
Seriously, I think defying this kid's fate this much is just unhealthy. I really think we could just leave him.
Nope, Shulk's still too good a person, and Sharla really ties the team together as a party member, so we want to make sure that she stays on our good side.
Fair point. So the team infiltrates the mines underneath Colony 6, and they meet this old guy named Otharon.
He's all like, I'm basically just like Jixon, but boring, and he was in command of Colony 6's military.
He's pretty jazzed about Shulk having the Monado, but Shulk sees a vision of Otharon dying.
Shit, he says, I just don't think we properly established to the audience that between my visions and the Monado's untapped potential, we can stop all the deaths.
So in the depths of the mines, the gang runs into Zord, and even though Juju is alive, Zord literally ate every citizen of Colony 6 that we haven't accounted for.
So Sharla goes berserk for a second before remembering that she's the healer, and the gang works to take down Zord.
They still can't pierce his armor, but Otharon uses a tank to shove him into an ether river.
It's basically like supercharged acid, and it proves effective, so the gang wins the day without a single casualty.
Literally everyone who was here before we made it died except Juju.
Yep, and we call that an unqualified success.
God damn it.
No time to celebrate though, because Zord proves to be one stubborn son of a bitch.
In one last-ditch effort, he tries to stop the gang despite being so badly damaged that he stands no chance.
After taking him out, he's all like, "Allow me to give you some vague exposition on the secret of faced Mechon," making some unclear allusions to a life he had before he was in the machine.
Shulk is all like, "What do you mean?" And Zord's like, "If you haven't figured it out by now, you're just gonna have to wait until the game spells it out for you."
And then he goes, "See ya, nerds," and self-destructs or something.
So the gang is like, "Well, we took down a face Mechon, so we know it's possible to defeat Metal Face."
And then Metal Face is like, "Did somebody say my name?" And just shows up with a whole platoon of face Mechon just like Zord.
So Shulk is like, "It doesn't matter. The Monado can cut through Mechon with ease." Piece of shit!
Things look pretty grim for our heroes, but then Dixon and Dunban show up and Dunban's all like, "Ah!"
He's got a new weapon that Dixon made. It's strong and sharp enough to damage Mechon and doesn't have any of those pesky Chosen One weapon caveats like not being able to hurt people and utterly excruciating debilitating pain.
Despite that, Metal Face still proves too strong for Shulk and company, and things are looking grim until this magical green dino beast comes out of nowhere and shoots lightning at the Mechon.
Metal Face retreats once again.
Well, that was definitely a Deus Ex Machina.
That joke's only gonna make sense to people who already know the plot. Why would they be watching a recap video?
I'm keeping it in, I don't care.
Can't argue with that, especially since the plot is about to slow way down.
Pretty much. During the battle, Shulk had another vision, this time about fighting Metal Face at the head of the Bionis.
So even though they still don't have a plan and now only marginally have the means of damaging Metal Face, the group sets off on yet more adventure.
But wait, first we have to ditch Juju and Atharon. Tell them that it's possible to transform this giant heap of rubble into Colony 6 in all its former glory.
Sweet, it worked. Now we're back to having just cool people in our party.
The gang treks through what is literally the coolest swamp in any video game, and nothing much happens except for Dixon being mysterious.
And we get a little better acquainted with this species called the Nopon.
Good timing there, because we're about to be seeing a lot more of them soon.
On to the next area.
You mean the Bionis interior? Sweet! I can't believe we get to explore inside the Bionis.
And it's over. Literally nothing happened while we were there. And it was like 2 rooms. Moving on.
Oh. Welcome to Makna Forest, the Bionis' hairy back.
Gross.
Here, we are introduced to Best Girl.
Well, I mean in the second game.
Best Girl.
Her name is Melia, and she's fighting one of those green lightning dino beasts from before.
By her side are her 4 royal guards and best friends, Hoggard, Isel, Garen, and Demille.
And they're all dead. They just sacrificed themselves to save her life.
Damn. So her day's not going so hot, huh?
Don't worry. She's gonna just pass out in the middle of this forest filled with literal T-Rexes. She'll be fine.
Actually, she will be, because the party just stumbles upon her in the middle of the forest.
Charlotte takes a closer look and says, "Oh shit, the script says Shulk needs to go have a solo adventure. Shulk, go get me some magic water."
So Shulk goes to get magic water and gets ambushed by this mysterious pretty boy with blue hair.
His name is Alvis, and he's all like, "I see you when you're sleeping. I know when you're awake."
Shulk is like, "Okay, that's creepy. What's with that crystal on your chest?"
Don't worry about it, that's for a different game.
Oh, cool. What?
Luckily, Alvis doesn't have to spoil the entire franchise because they get conveniently ambushed by more green lightning dino beasts.
Oh god, Shulk is a glass cannon. How's this gonna work with no tanks or healers?
Badly, especially since they can read Shulk's mind and basically make his visions useless.
Well, that just sounds like game over.
Psych! Alvis picks up the Monado.
Oh no! What about the consequences of wielding the chosen weapon despite not being the chosen one?
Blade combo.
Oh, shut up, that's not this game.
With Alvis's help, Shulk gets another Monado power to counteract the Dino Beast's mind reading powers.
So Alvis is either another chosen one or just as hardcore as Dunban. Either way, it'll be great to have him in our party.
And he's gone.
Oh, well, with the magic water we got, we can get a different awesome party member.
Charlotte shoots Melia with the magic water.
And Melia's like, "Okay, so I just lost my best friends and now I wake up to getting shot. This day is going great."
Don't worry, Melia. I'm sure things can't get any worse.
So Melia joins the gang and takes them to the Nopon village, and these Furbies are all like, "Bird lady, welcome back, bird lady."
And the chief is like, "Hey, I bet you and your 4 best friends killed that Dino Beast no problem."
And Melia is like,
So Shulk is like, "Hey, the plot isn't really going anywhere right now. Why don't we help you beat the Dino Beast?"
and the chief is like, "Good plan, but you'll need Ricky."
Who the fuck is Ricky?
Hereupon, Ricky! What's that?
Get off me! To you!
right in the... Take this, Bubble! That's not good.
Hereupon! Hereupon, fight back!
Hereupon, chop, chop. Hereupon, go forth. Hereupon, get up.
Hereupon, make Nubon proud!
Silence! I introduce to you this year's legendary Hereupon, Ricky!
New hum-hum friends, meet this year's legendary Hereupon, Ricky! Ricky live to serve!
Why do we need Ricky?
Shut up, we need Ricky.
After getting all of Ricky's dry cleaning, the new and improved party heads off to hunt some dino beasts.
God damn, this forest is huge, and the Nopon have like 100 side quests for us.
But who cares about that, because this is a story recap.
So deep in the forest, we find our target. He's big and he's mean and he's green.
And he's got those pesky mind-reading powers and super crazy regeneration.
Turns out that Melia is kind of a badass though, and she's like, Petrificus Totalis!
It evens the playing field, but it's still a tough battle.
Melia's like, well, after how today's gone, I should have figured we'd lose.
But then Shulk is like, bitch, we're out for revenge. Let's do this shit.
With the combination of everyone's hard work, except Ricky, we finally take the Dino Beast down.
Wait, why didn't Ricky help?
He got knocked out before the end.
Remind me why we need Ricky?
Shut up, we need Ricky.
Back at the village, we find out that Ricky is being forced to be the hero of the Nopon because he has massive crippling debt, and this is the only way to repay it.
And because he has so long to go to pay off those debts, we need to keep him on board for a while.
Great! So as a reward for beating the Dino Beast, we're given free passage up to the Bionis' head.
The Bionis has an ocean attached to his head.
What? How?
Doesn't everyone?
There's also a floating city up here. It's called Alkmaar, and it's home to a race of people called the Hyentia.
They sure do look cool, but they're low-key hella racist, and after letting Melia into the city, they arrest the rest of the party with no explanation.
We'll learn that Melia is actually the crown princess of the Hyentia.
Oh, really? Then where are her wings?
She has wings, they're just tiny because she's only half Hyentia, and her mother was a Homs.
Which means she definitely watched her mother die of old age at some point, so scratch another point into Melia's life sucks category.
Don't forget that a lot of her own people hate her for being half-breed, including her stepmother and half-sister.
Oh, damn. Is there any good news?
Well, her dad and her older brother are kinda chill, so hopefully they'll live to the end of the game.
Oh no! Shulk has a vision of her dad dying!
And so does Elvis.
Oh hey, Elvis is back.
Yep, he's some sort of prophet for the Hyentia, and he sees visions kind of like Shulk.
He also vouches for Shulk and the gang to get them out of jail.
They were in jail?
Kind of? They were imprisoned because having the Monado is a super bad omen.
Don't worry, we've got everything under control.
Not really. There's a conspiracy in play to kill Melia while she undergoes a ceremony to claim her crown, and the Mechon are definitely getting ready to invade again.
One thing at a time. Who's plotting against Melia?
Her sister and her stepmom, and also this minister named Lorithia.
Wow. Her life really does suck.
Yep, and even though Shulk sees a vision about all this going down, the Emperor won't let us go save her.
Luckily, Dunban pulls out some words of wisdom and finds a legal loophole.
A way to save Melia!
Just in time, too, because Melia's sister stuck another Dino Beast on her while she was alone.
Just can't catch a break.
Now Melia finally catches a break. After we save her and she completes her trial, it's time for her coronation ceremony.
It actually goes pretty well, and we've got a celebratory feast to cap things off.
Psych! Here comes the Mechon.
Damn it! Alright, well at least we finally get to showdown with Metal Face.
But first, Melia's dad is gonna do some kind of ritual at the top of this black tower to activate some sort of superpowered defense system.
Powered by this giant! He says his name is Zanza, and he's been imprisoned here for like 1,000,000 years.
Oh, neat.
It is pretty neat. And when Shulk and company arrive, they get to have a chat with Zanza.
He says he forged the Monado and he can power it up for Shulk, so it can beat Faced Mechon.
Damn, that's convenient, and it sounds like it comes with no strings attached.
Yep, none whatsoever.
Too bad Metalface uses a new Mechon super weapon to break through the defenses and stab the giant.
Well, I guess all hope is lost?
Not yet, because Melia's dad whips out some sweet magic to zap Metalface and get his attention.
No, don't do it to her.
Oh, we're gonna do it to her.
Yep, Melia watches her dad get stabbed straight through, right in front of her.
I thought you said she caught a break.
She did. No one died for like 10 minutes there.
Well, at least she has Shulk.
With a final push from Zanza, Shulk unlocks the true power of the Monado, and now it can hurt people.
You mean Faced Mechon? Oh, damn. I'm slow.
Yep, this new Silverface Mechon opens up and there's a person inside.
But who?
Why, it's none other than Fiora.
But didn't she get absolutely fucking minced by the end of the first act?
She certainly did, and we may have a lot of questions, but she doesn't seem to recognize us.
And since killing Zanza was the only goal of the Mechon here and Shulk can actually, attack them now, it's time for them to once again retreat.
Well, that kinda sucked, didn't it?
I know! What happened to Shulk being able to stop all the deaths with his visions and contextual Monado powers?
Doesn't count for Melia, I guess.
Someone in charge of writing this must have really had it out for her.
You have no idea.
Wait, so if Fiora is still alive, what happens to our revenge story?
No one knows. As long as Fiora doesn't have her memory, it's up in the air.
Well, we'd better move on and figure it out then.
Hold up. First we need to do some politics. With the Emperor dead, Melia's in charge of the Hyentia now.
Wait, so how's she gonna keep being our party member?
Well, her older brother Callion has her back. He's gonna cover things while she's out risking her life against the Mechon.
Is that smart?
Nope, but I'm not arguing because she is an awesome party member.
Works for me, so where to next?
We're headed to the Mechonis' sword to give chase to the Mechon.
Sweet! First, we gotta hike down the Bionis' right arm to get there, and since there's a sort of lull in the story, now's a good time for some backstory and exposition.
Years ago, when the war between Homs and Mechon was coming to a head, a bunch of Homs went on an expedition to this very mountain to find the Monado.
They found it, but for some reason every single one of them died, except for Shulk, who was soon found and rescued by Dixon.
Now we learn from Alvis that the temple the Monado was found in was built to seal the Monado away, because it was believed to be Zanza's soul.
Zanza's body and soul were separated and sealed because he was responsible for some sort of terrible atrocity eons ago.
So now, we are personally responsible for unleashing both of them. I'll bet that won't come back to bite us at all.
And that's it for the backstory right now, because Fiora has turned up again.
This time, she's acting outside the will of the Mechon, and she's come here independently seeking answers from Shulk and friends. Though she still doesn't recognize him.
That's Dunban over there!
Things are about to get juicy when Metalface shows up.
And if the silver-faced one has Fiora inside, then this other one must have...
That's right, it's Mumkar, the guy who betrayed us in the first 2 seconds of the game.
He has no trouble remembering who we are, but he's just evil and kind of a dick, so he's there to threaten Fiora's life if we don't give him whatever he wants.
But it's time for our resident badasses to shine. Melia sucker punches him with some magic, and then Dunban duels him in one of the best scenes in the game.
Unfortunately, the fun is interrupted by this absurdly huge golden-faced Mechon, piloted by a guy who calls himself the leader of the Mechonis, Egil.
Your blade. It did.
Not yet, that's later.
Egil taunts us and uses Fiora as incentive for us to come to the Mechonis.
Oh no? Isn't that what we were doing anyway?
Sure was. Hey look, it's Dixon, and he came here in a flying transport to sell us some new gear.
Hold up.
And he's built more weapons that can pierce Mechon armor.
Wait a second.
And now it's time to explore Sword Valley.
No, it's not. Hold on. You mean to say that our people have had access to flying vehicles this entire time, and we've literally walked up this entire Titan?
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. Cool. So Sword Valley, the very same location where Dunban went crazy on all those Mechon at the start of this game.
Yep, it's a leisurely trip down memory lane with a bunch of killer robots.
And at the end of that lane, who else but Mumkar?
It's time to settle this once and for all. No second chances, no running away, let's kick his ass.
And we almost do, but Shulk stops Dunban inches away from Mumkar's throat.
I'm starting to think you're taking this good person thing too far, says Dunban.
And Shulk's like, I've been learning about Socrates in school, and I think he's onto something.
So Dunban goes, well, can't argue with that. Mumkar can live to be an asshole another day.
But it turns out, Mumkar can't do that because in his blind rage, he didn't see the Disney villain death that was hanging over his head. and gets dropped into the ocean below, speared to a giant slab of stone.
Finally. Retreat from that one, you son of a bitch.
Hey, so now that we've defeated the guy who it turns out didn't even kill the person we were trying to avenge, what happens to our revenge story?
Well, maybe we'll figure that out after we find Fiora.
Hey, we found Fiora!
She definitely seems at least favorable towards us.
But she's being forced to attack us by Egil.
Your blade! It did.
Dude, not yet!
Eggle's got another ace up his sleeve too. He's got a device that can force the Monado not to work.
Thank goodness Dixon made everyone weapons or this would suck.
It's a hard battle, but eventually our heroes win the day.
Nope.
What?
Nope, the fortress therein explodes and they all fall down to the unforgiving ocean below.
Whoa, that's hardcore. How do they even survive?
Well, see, since this is a game, you don't take fall damage when you land in water, so everyone's okay.
Oh, neat. What about land, though?
There's an island in between the Bionis and Mechonis that they all end up on.
Wow, that's pretty lucky.
It doesn't stop there. Fiora wound up right next to Shulk, and when she wakes up, she remembers him, and she's basically just like her old self, only metal.
But remember, Schult's a huge nerd who loves to tinker with machines, so this is basically as wild as fantasies come true.
Let's check in on our other groups.
Ryan and Charlotte wound up next to each other, so Ryan starts putting the moves on her.
Then, in Group 3, we've got Melia, Dunban, and a Ricky.
Oh yeah, Ricky's here.
Yeah, and it's a good thing too, because he's finally getting some character depth.
Yeah, it turns out he's actually quite wise and sensitive to people, especially Melia.
Well, at least she's got someone looking out for her.
Once all our groups reconvene, we meet a new race of people. These ones are called the Makna, and they're the people of Mechonis.
Turns out the Mechon are just basically remote-controlled weapons.
But the Makna here are peaceful, friendly people, so what gives?
Well,
Your blade!
Dude, just hang on! Egil is on a quest for revenge against the Bionis, so he's waging this war practically by himself.
Eggle's dad is here on the island, and he's like, wow, do I look like I belong in a Studio Ghibli movie? And hey, can you kill Eggle for me?
So the gang is like, well, that was pretty much the plan anyway.
And then Dixon!
What? How?
Nobody knows, but he found his way here to us because he heard we fell from the sword, and he was basically the only Homs who already knew that this island was here, and populated by Makna.
And Dixon is like, yep, I sure am mysterious and kinda awesome though. Oh, hey Fiora!
He tells us that some shit is going down back on Bionis.
The Hyentia were spurred into action by the Mechon attack, and they're helping organize all the races of Bionis into an army to face Egil's forces.
Badass! That sounds like the perfect thing to distract the Mechon while we infiltrate the Mechonis.
Sure thing, but hold on, cause Fiora might kinda be dying.
What? But we just got her back! And her sweet Mechon powers make her an awesome party member.
Yeah, well, those Mechon modifications aren't exactly what you'd call prime healthcare, so we gotta fix her up a bit.
We make some temporary fixes that'll hold her together for a little while and set off.
Time to climb the Mechonis, starting with the right ankle.
Hey, that sounds kind of familiar.
Don't worry, the Mechonis doesn't have nearly as many side quests to slow us down, and it's got elevators. This'll be a cinch.
It is, however, swarming with Mechon of all kinds, including this new green-faced Mechon with a personal interest in our party.
Huh? That's weird. Who else is important enough for us to discover inside of it?
Well, important might be a stretch, but it's Charlotte's lost fiancé.
Ryan is like, shit, I'm gonna have to do the right thing and not kill this guy, huh?
Well, that'll have to come later, because he pulls the old 1-2 retreat on us, fleeing higher into the Mechonis.
Hey, while we're inside this giant machine, do you think we should, like, sabotage it or something?
Nah, too much trouble, and we've got places to be.
Yeah, the second battle of Sword Valley is on in earnest. Hyentia, Homs, and even Nopon are all waging war on the Mechon. With the help of the Hyentia's advanced technology, the Mechon actually have something to worry about besides the Monado.
Oh hey, also this Colonel guy is back.
Oh cool. Wait, didn't he explode? I forgot about that.
Don't worry, so did the writers.
Meanwhile, back on Mechonis, the gang has reached the top and discovered the abandoned capital city of the Makna.
It's called Agniratha, and it's really grand and kind of sad.
Yep, it's time to make the player sympathize with the Makna, using an ancient history lesson.
Rewind back to a jillion years ago.
It turns out that before the Titans were growling at each other, they were best friends.
Yeah, and so were all the races that lived on them.
So what you're saying is, long ago the two nations lived together in harmony, but everything changed when the Bionis nation attacked.
Yep, the Bionis was the aggressor, attacking with the Monado and sending dozens of dino beasts to kill Makna. And they say this was all because of Zanza.
That giant who made the Monado?
Yes and no. Turns out the giant may have been lying to us, like A lot.
Unless this girl Mayneth is lying to us.
Wait, who's Mayneth?
She's the living soul of the Mechonis. She's sort of like a god, since she created the people of Mechonis.
Oh, and she's using Fiora's body as a host. She's the reason Fiora couldn't remember us for a while.
Oh, but now she and Fiora are kind of sharing the body.
It's not a bad deal for Fiora though, because Mayneth is 100% the only reason she's alive right now.
That sounds like a terrible deal for Fiora.
Yeah, it is.
So now we kind of understand why the Mechon attacked Bionis, but that doesn't explain why they're attacking the Homs. It's time to get an answer from the man himself.
Your blade!
No, not yet! First, we gotta have a battle with that green-faced Mechon.
Mayneth uses her Mechon powers to restore his memory, and he remembers Charlotte. Cool!
And Ryan is like, fuck, I'm gonna have to do the right thing here and let Charlotte go. Man, this sucks.
Cheer up, Ryan. It's time for our face-off against Egil.
Egil explains that the Homs and Hyantia are all the source of the Bionis' energy.
When they die and their bodies are returned to the Bionis, as is their custom, the Bionis gets a little energy charge.
So that's why the Mechon eat people, is to take their bodies away from the Bionis.
You know, I feel like this could have all been resolved if the Makna taught us to bury our dead at sea instead of on land.
That might be a good idea, but Egil doesn't see the Homs as intelligent or significant. To him, they're just bugs scuttling around to serve their master and his enemy, the Bionis.
But it's time for Shulk to pull out his signature move, being too good of a person.
After facing Egil down to prove himself a worthy opponent, he forces Egil to listen and to hopefully understand that the Homs just want peaceful lives, just like the Makna.
Is it time?
Yeah, it's time.
Yes!
Your blade. It did not come deep enough.
Yep, he believes there will never be peace until the Bionis is defeated.
So he hops into his giant golden-faced Mechon and unleashes his full power on the party.
Oh, damn!
His full powers prove pretty powerful, and he brings our team to their knees. Just before he lays the killing blow on Shulk, Mayneth reveals herself to him.
Egil's like, damn, so even the Mechonis itself is turned against me.
And he's like, I'm doing this for your own good, Mom, and storms off to his room.
And by his room, he means the core of the Mechonis, where he can pilot the Mechonis itself as though it were some massive kind of faced Mechon.
And for good measure, he self-destructs Agniritha, which looks like it's gonna be enough to take down our band of heroes.
It probably would be too, but then Charlotte's fiance comes in and saves the day, protecting the gang from the brunt of the explosion at the cost of his own life.
Ryan is like, oop, nice.
Hey, what was that guy's name again?
We never mentioned it.
Are we?
Nope. So the gang survived the explosion, but now they're falling to their deaths.
Fiora and Mayneth to the rescue. They use some sort of magic powers to keep the gang suspended in midair.
Until it becomes too much for her, and now everyone is falling to their deaths again.
The Makna to the rescue. Using an airship, they catch everyone out of midair just in time.
Hey,
Oh no.
hey.
No.
You know what
No,
you could
please,
call that?
Please don't.
A Makna X Deus?
I hate.
Not all is well yet, though, because Egil is piloting the Mechonis.
Oh yeah, and isn't literally everyone on the sword right now having a war?
They sure are.
Well, not anymore. Egil flips the sword.
Don't worry, I'm sure they'll be fine.
Nobody's gonna be fine if the Mechonis starts wailing on the defenseless Bionis, though.
Sure thing, we're gonna have to act fast.
We can use the Makna airship to infiltrate the Mechonis and reach Egil, but he proves stronger than us at the capital.
That's because of that device that counteracts the Monado. Shulk has to work really hard just to keep the sword working.
Oh, so if we take out that device, we basically get a power-up.
Sounds like a plan, let's go!
The gang flies into the heart of the Mechonis to look for the device.
But uh-oh, Shulk is suffering from the effects of wielding the Chosen One weapon, despite not being the Chosen One, despite being the Chosen One.
What?
No one knows! All we know is that it is fucking painful.
Oh, is that something we should be worried about?
Nah, we should worry about Melia though, cause she obviously has a crush on Shulk, but Shulk's feelings go to Fiora.
Damn, poor Melia? Well, time to carry out our mission.
Sure thing, we find the device and blow it up and Ricky goes, pow!
Excuse me, what?
See? I told you we needed Ricky.
I shouldn't have doubted you.
With that device out of commission, we're ready to take on Egil for realsies.
It's tense.
The battlefield is a giant view screen.
We can see the Makna landing blow after blow on Bionis.
The fate of the world truly hangs in the balance.
Egil keeps calling Shulk Zanza for some reason.
It all comes down to this.
Egil's all like, grrr.
And Shulk is all like, yeah!
And Fjord's like, no, Shulk, you're supposed to be too good of a person.
But Shulk's got this voice in his head that's all like, good, Shulk, good. Kill him. Kill him now.
And Shulk is all like, I shouldn't. It's not the Holmes way.
But the voice is like, do it.
But Shulk remembers just in time that he's too good of a person and he doesn't kill Egil.
And Egil's like, dude, I'm literally trying to kill everyone you know. You've gotta kill me.
And Shulk is like, nope, I'm stopping all the deaths. Revenge is for pussies.
And Egil is like, god damn, he do be right though.
And they all lived happily ever after. Yeah?
Well, it's just, there's still a lot of time left in this video.
Oh shit, you're right.
But Egil was the final boss. What's there left to recap?
Well, you see, everyone starts talking about how much they love peace and how they want things to be peaceful forever.
Ah, have they learned nothing?
Nope, so then Dixon comes in and he's like, get fucked, Shulk, and shoots him in the back.
And literally everyone in the game and outside it goes, what?
Surprise, Dixon is evil and he's working for Zanza.
We finally learn that Zanza isn't just some giant, he's the Bionis' soul, and he's basically a god.
He made all the people of the Bionis, the same as Makna did for Makonis.
And he's been using Shulk as a host while he gets stronger.
But now it's time for him to awaken.
And now the Bionis moves, just as the Makonis did, and the two resume their duel from a jillion years ago.
But it's a lot more one-sided than it was then. Zanza's strength is overwhelming.
Makna sacrifices herself so that the party can live.
Uh-oh. Wasn't she basically keeping Fiora alive?
Yep, now she's gonna be running on leftover energy from Makna.
Hopefully that'll last the rest of the game.
Egil sacrifices himself so the party can live.
Man, we're really racking up a body count here.
Zanza gets Makna's Monado, and now he's got two and he's gonna use them to reach his full power.
Well shit, we'd better get out of here then.
The gang escapes on the airship, but Dixon shows up with a whole squadron of dino beasts.
Oh damn, where'd they all come from?
They're all High Entia, transformed into these beasts as a consequence of their DNA, all part of Zanza's design.
Wait, so does that mean that all the High Entia have been transformed into mindless monsters?
Almost. The only ones who haven't are those whose bloodlines are diluted enough with Hom's DNA, like Melia.
Wow. So Melia just literally lost all her people. What about her brother?
Yep, he's turned too, but not before he sacrifices himself so that the gang can escape.
Wow, Melia? Do you need a hug?
She certainly does. Too bad Shulk is in a coma after being shot.
Nah, that works out. This is the perfect opportunity for her to pour her soul out to him and even kiss him with no consequences and without him seeing her so vulnerable.
Oof, my heart.
Everyone regroups at Colony 6, so I hope you've been doing the side quest to get it rebuilt, otherwise your base of operations is gonna be a pile of rubble.
It's not much of a safe haven though, as Dixon immediately tracks us down with his horde of dino beasts.
Meanwhile, Shulk's having a crazy dream about floating in space while Alvis talks to him about willpower or something like that.
He's kinda feeling like his life was meaningless if he was just some sort of puppet for Zanza.
Luckily, Alvis snaps him out of his funk and Shulk wakes up just in time to fight the dino beast.
He's also got this sort of fake Monado that the Makna made for him.
Wow. Why didn't they make something like that for all the party members? It's not like they have chosen one consequence.
Shut up, it's time for more battles and twists. Look, Alvis is also working for Zanza.
Oh crap, that really sucks.
It sure does, but our team has been through too much to lose this fight.
Even though Shulk doesn't have Zanza in him anymore, or a real Monado, he still sees visions for some reason.
So we managed to fend off the lot of them.
They retreat and Shulk has a vision of the final battle and how to get there.
But first, it's time to do a ton of side quests around the whole world.
No, it's not! We're heading into the Bionis interior and ending this.
Alright, fine. The first in a long string of foes is Lorithia. She was one of those High Entia plotting against Melia.
She's the third member of Zanza's Trinity of Disciples, alongside Dixon and Alvis.
She's commanding the dino beast that Melia's brother transformed into, which is just messed up.
Even more so because she's essentially forcing Melia to kill him.
And for that, Lorithia must surely die.
For once, our villain doesn't retreat.
And even Shulk has no problem letting her die violently.
With one member of the Trinity wrapped up, it's time to head back to Prison Island in pursuit of Dixon.
And can we get real for a second? Look at this build-up to the final area.
Yeah, shit's about to go down.
Dixon throws obstacle after obstacle in our path, even revealing his ultimate form.
But the real power was the friends we made along the way.
With everyone's strength combined, we finally land a fatal blow on Dixon.
In a bittersweet moment, we watch an old friend take his last breaths and travel on.
To space!
Wait, what?
Yep, and not just any space, our own solar system, it turns out.
What the hell is happening?
We start fighting ghosts of some of our greatest foes, and we make it past planet after planet.
Seriously though, what even?
Until at last we finally make it to Earth!
Okay, stop, what?
Don't worry about it, we just gotta beat Zanza.
What happened to Alvis?
He didn't fight us. He just said something about meeting again after we've made our choice and teleported us to Zanza.
Explain literally anything, please!
No time! It's time for the final battle, and Zanza has all the powers in the world between the Bionis and the Mechanus Monados.
Okay, do I at least get to know how it's possible to beat him?
Not yet. For the moment, we can chalk it up to the power of friendship again.
Well, that and the sheer will to oppose a god.
It all comes together to create a new, ultimate Monado in Shulk's hand, one with the power to slay a god.
So we do just that, rending Zanza to pieces and finally ending this story.
But we're not done yet. We've got some serious explaining to do.
Hell yeah we do. Rewind to before time itself.
Earth, the 21st century.
In a space station orbiting the planet, the humans have harnessed the power of an incredible artifact called the Conduit.
Using this power, a man named Klaus, who looks just like Zanza, wants to use that power to create a brand new world.
Despite the protests of a woman named Galea, who looks just like Maynard, he does just that, initializing an experiment that will turn him from a human into a god.
Klaus became Zanza, Galea became Maynard,
And that space station's administrative computer system became Alvis.
Alvis's job was to shape the world according to the desires of the two users, giving them the godlike powers of creation through his interface, the Monado.
Though Maynard was content with peace and harmony, Zanza was easily bored and desired a world in a constant cycle of destruction and recreation.
You know, like when you play SimCity and summon a volcano in the middle of the city just to watch everything rebuild.
So that is the world we came to reside in, one repeating the cycle over and over just to appease the boredom of a god.
The visions we see were also provided by Alvis, essentially running a predictive program on the subroutines of the world, allowing his users to see into the future and make changes if they wanted.
However, with Zanza using him as a vessel and allowing him to wield the Monado, Shulk became familiar with Alvis's interface, even if it was only subconsciously.
In time, the power of Shulk's will grew to match and surpass that of Zanza, until Alvis came to recognize Shulk as a user.
Dude, that's terrifying. Imagine one of your Animal Crossing neighbors just takes over your file one day.
This is what enabled Shulk to continue having visions and manifest another Monado in the final battle.
Alvis now recognizes Shulk as the world's new god, giving him the choice of what to do with it.
With practically unlimited power at his command, Shulk makes his choice.
And he chooses to create a world with no gods, no users, one where everyone has free will to live their lives.
Interpreting the command as best he can, Alvis deletes the program and brings all of its elements back to the real world, where no higher powers as he knows them have any control.
Wait, so it was all a simulation?
Sort of. Think of it as a really powerful simulation that's happening in some sort of pseudo-real pocket dimension. Fast forward just a bit to see a new colony being constructed with the help of the Homs, Hyentia, Nopon, and Makna.
We take the perspective of Fiora checking in on the gang in the new world.
When she finds Shulk, we zoom out to see that even her robotic body was returned to its original form, so she's not dying anymore.
So Melia's like, damn it, this game is like my villain origin story or something.
The music swells as we look out at the new world spreading out before us.
Now that was an ending. Got a crush on Shulk and she wants to literally go and feed him a sandwich.
Oh, damn.
So Fiora meets... That was good. That was good. That was good. Alright.
we can take it from
Let me compose myself. Let me compose myself.
Fiora voice? With the combination of the Monado and these sweet visions, he starts taking out Meshin. Damn it.
Oh my god.
Damn it.
Fucking mesh on. Let me just.
We're
I'm scrolling to where it is.
Where are we? In his visions, he starts to.
Can't even take it seriously.
No.
Fucking said mesh on.
Mesh on. Not the mesh. Okay. How to end his. Okay, hang on. Hang on. You fucking broke me, right?
Me?
Yes.
You said mesh on, not me.
If you hadn't laughed that hard, this wouldn't be funny. Okay. Alright. We're not gonna get this done.
It's you. See, you're the one making me laugh now.
Alright.
Charlotte says, "Hell no," but Jojo.
Sono chino.
Stop! Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it. I got this.
Mayneth uses her fucking.
You saw the fuck right there and just included it. Uses her fucking mech on power.
Mayneth uses her fucking powers to restore his memory. I almost love that.
Noom! The gang flies into the heart of the Mechonis to
Come
look
on,
for
you
the
can do
device.
better than that.
Alright. I got you. Well, you see, everyone starts talking about how much they love peace and how they want things to be peaceful forever.
Ah, have they learned nothing?
Nope. So then Dixon comes in and he's like, "Get We hadn't gotten this far in the script. Last time we didn't get this far in the script.
You're right.
I didn't see this.